Hey friends, back for another story time, and just like I promised you, I have an awesome story today called Iggy Peck, Architect, and it's by Andrea Beaty, and it's illustrated by David Roberts. Now this is the same author who wrote one of my very favorite books, Rosie Revere Engineer. So, they're just really great stories. And this one is all about an architect. You know what an architect does? They draw the plans to design buildings and all kinds of structures. So look at this. I see rulers for measuring, pencils for writing. Okay. Young Iggy Peck is an architect, and he has been since he was 2, when he built a great tower in only an hour with nothing but diapers and glue. "Good gracious, Ignatius," his mother exclaimed. "That's the coolest thing I've ever seen." But her smile faded fast as a light wind blew past and she realized those diapers weren't clean. "Ignatius, my son, what on earth have you done? That's disgusting and nasty. It stinks." Oh. But Iggy was gone. He was out on the lawn using dirt clods to build a great sphinx. He still doesn't have on his diaper. When Iggy was 3, his parents could see his unusual passion would stay. He built churches and chapels from peaches and apples and temples from modeling clay. Check out these structures he's building with fruit. How cool is that? He also has very fancy parents. At dinner one night, to his father's delight, Iggy got a bright gleam in his eye, and out on the porch built the St. Louis Arch from pancakes and coconut pie. So the St. Louis Arch this is called an arch. The shape, the city of St. Louis has a very cool arch like this. It's not made out of pancakes. But Iggy made his out of pancakes and pie. Dear Ig had it made until 2nd grade when his teacher was Miss Lila Greer. On the very first day, she had this to say: "We do not talk of buildings in here. Gothic or Romanesque, I couldn't care less about buildings ancient or new." She said in her lecture about architecture that it had no place in grade 2. Now, what kind of teacher is that to discourage people from doing things that they love? Wow, look at these buildings. That might seem severe, but she was sincere, for when she was no more than 7, she'd had a great fright at a dizzying height in a building so tall it scraped heaven. On an architect's tour of the 95th floor, young Lila got lost from the group. Oh. She was found 2 days later in a stuck elevator eating cheese with a French circus troupe. After that day, it's quite safe to say she thought all building lovers were nuts. As a teacher, she taught that, above all, one ought to avoid them. No ifs, ands, or buts. So she didn't want them to do architecture stuff because she was scared of it. As you might guess, it would cause Iggy stress to hear such terrible talk. But he didn't hear. He sat in the rear while building a castle of chalk. "You, Iggy Peck, your desk is a wreck. Tear down that castle right now. You will not build in here. Is that perfectly clear? Do you need to see Principal Howe?" So he can't stop himself from all this building that he loves so much. No, ma'am, Iggy said. He lowered his head, and his heart sank down to the floor. With no chance to build, his interest was killed. Now second grade was a bore. After 12 long days that passed in a haze of reading, writing, and arithmetic, Miss Greer took the class to Blue River Pass for a hike and an old-fashioned picnic. Well, that's exciting. They're going on a field trip to a hike and a picnic. They crossed an old trestle to a small island nestled in the heart of a burbling stream. But they no sooner passed than the footbridge collapsed, and Miss Lila Greer started to scream. "We're trapped here! Oh my! Alas, kids, goodbye!" Her eyeballs rolled back in her head. She dropped to the ground with a vague groaning sound. Luckily fainted, not dead. So they're on a hike. The bridge collapses and they are stuck, and their teacher is kind of freaking out. She collapses. The class was amazed. They stood there quite dazed, uncertain of what they should do. But one bright young man was off hatching a plan, which started with Miss Lila's shoe. Soon each lad and lass there at Blue River Pass was working together as one. So, to be an architect, you have to have a good imagination about what you might want to create. And that's what these kids are doing. They're using their imaginations and their good scientist thinking heads to figure out how they might come up with a solution. And when she came to, Miss Lila Greer knew that something quite brave had been done. She looked in the air and saw hanging there a structure with cables and braces. And on the far side, beaming with pride, were 17 smiling young faces. Boots, tree roots and strings, fruit roll-ups and things, some of which one should not mention, were stretched ridge to ridge in a glorious bridge, dangling from shoestring suspension. So they used their shoestrings, their shoelaces, and some branches, and fruit roll-ups. It all became clear. Well, and let's look at this. Who do you think helped? Who do you think came up with the idea of how to make that bridge work? Iggy Peck, right? Because architects know how to make structures that are going to stay up and not fall. It all became clear to Miss Lila Greer as she crossed that bridge over the stream. There are worse things to do when you're in grade 2 than to spend your time building a dream. So here she is. Now every week at Blue River Creek Elementary in 2nd grade, all the school kids can hear, along with Miss Greer, how the world's greatest buildings were made. The weekly guest speaker in t-shirts and sneakers talks of buildings from Rome to Quebec. Of course, he's the guy who builds towers from pie, that brilliant young man, Iggy Peck. That is very cool. And these are some actual structures that architects designed. Now, this is a great book for today because it is kind of gloomy and rainy today. Doesn't look like it's going to be a great day for playing outside. So this would be a great day for you. Is that, Max, you can come down.
Oh, I can?
Yep. This would be a great day for you to try to build some stuff inside your house. Get your blocks out and see how tall of a tower you can make. How about if you have some toothpicks or pretzel sticks, like the tiny pretzel sticks and marshmallows, you can try to build a structure out of those, and maybe you can even have a little snack at the same time. But if you take your blocks, you can see how tall you can make. You can see if you can make a bridge, see if you can make something long or wide, okay? There's so many different things that you can do with blocks. So, you guys have a great day. Stay inside, stay dry, have fun, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.